Good morning, my name is America Hartman, and today's training course we are going to be covering language barriers. I'm going to hand out the agenda to everybody so everyone has it and you can follow along as we go. We're going to take 15 to 20 minutes to do a skit with the guest speaker, introduce the guest speaker, and also explain the training objective. Unfortunately today we do not have a guest speaker, so we're going to go ahead and move forward with the training course without them. 20 to 30 minutes, we're going to do the PowerPoint presentation, which covers the 3 learning points that we're going to do today. And then we're going to leave room for questions and answers. We're also going to take 40 to 50 minutes to demonstrate and explain the activity. And then you guys are going to complete the activity, and then we're going to wrap up and leave time at the end to give feedback for the training course from you guys. The training objective today is, as a restaurant located in the busy downtown area, we find that we have a lot of diverse guests. Many of our guests are businessmen and women and tourists. Our goal as a team is to break these language barriers and to be able to improve our communication skills with guests who aren't fluent in English. We want to give every guest the best experience when they are at our restaurant. The 3 key learning points today we're going to cover are how to listen to a customer who speaks a different language, how to speak to a customer who speaks in a different language, and the do's and don'ts when it comes to communicating with a customer who also speaks a different language. How to listen to a customer who speaks a different language. Let your customer guide the conversation. Let your customer take the lead in the conversation. It helps the customer better understand what they're trying to say and help you better understand what the customer is trying to say. Be flexible. Even though you may not speak the same language as the customer, using positive listening and nonverbal and verbal communications will help you along in the conversation. A very important part of being flexible when communicating with the customer is understanding that your views may not be the way of the world or the same as theirs. How to speak to a customer who speaks a different language. Speak clearly and slowly. A fun fact is, in the United States of America, the average rate of speed is 125 to 150 words a minute. Every language speaks a different speed. So you kind of have to adjust to the way that they're speaking. Try to speak at a slower rate of speed so that you won't insult the customer. Speak at a normal volume and tone. People are not deaf. They can hear you, but unfortunately out of habit, sometimes we tend to speak louder when trying to be understood. A higher volume of speech and tone may result in the customer being offended. And then use open-ended questions. Open-ended questions that start with what, when, how, where, or why will help the customer to want to tell you more information. Avoid closed-ended questions that start with do, did, is, are, or will. And then you will also want to pause frequently. Pausing will help your customer translate what you have just said to them into their language that they speak. So it takes a minute for them to translate in their head what you're saying. So just make sure you give them time to do so. The do's and don'ts. Listen patiently, concentrate on what the customer is saying, and do your best to understand what the customer is trying to say. I know we all don't speak every single language in the world, but there are words that we do use English that they do understand, so try to simplify and concentrate on what the customer is saying. Use globally understood references. This will help if they are in any misunderstanding with someone who speaks English as a second language. Like I said, use simpler English at a slower rate, and if it's their second language that they speak, they'll be able to pick up faster on that. Don'ts. Avoid humor and sarcasm. Avoid jokes and words that are tied to sports, historical events, or culture. Jokes and sarcasm is usually based on incidents or people who are connected to a specific culture. So, I mean, even though it's funny to you or funny to us, just try to avoid jokes, actually at all costs, unless the customer's joking with you, of course. Avoid getting frustrated. Most people are frustrated betrays a tone or a frustrated look. We don't want the customer to close off and not want to tell us anything more with what they're trying to say and communicate with us. Trying to avoid this, the customer may become frustrated as well, which can result in losing the customer, and we don't want that. We want our customers to keep coming back to our restaurant, especially the businessmen and women and tourists. We want to get a good word out there for us. Don't ignore the customer. When you see a customer who doesn't speak the same language as you and you just don't want to deal with them, try not to ignore them. Or if you're not in the mood or you just don't understand that person as well, try to find somebody else in the restaurant who does. Try to make the effort into understanding what they say. If you can't understand them, again, find someone who can better translate the message for you. The training activity. So all of you guys are going to pair up into two. Employees will give an example of a time that they had a guest who didn't speak fluent English. That can be either here at this restaurant, another restaurant, or any other place of employment that you've had experience. Describe using the key learning points how you handle that situation. So just kind of give an example of the training key learning points that you used when handling that situation. Each employee will record each other's examples and explain what they could or couldn't have done better with the guest. So when we're all done, we're going to take some time to do that activity. You're going to come up here and explain what your partner had just said to you and what their key learning points were, or what you think that they were. And then everyone, again, will present their examples. Okay, and then this is the time where the employees will do their examples and then come up here. So we're going to skip through that. And we're going to go to the employee feedback survey. This is where I want to get the employees' feedback on this training course, find out what we can do better or what we did do really good with. So if all of you guys on the back of your example sheets that you have, please answer the survey questions that are provided on the slide here, numbering each of the responses 1 through 5, and then add any comments you think would be helpful to better this training course. So question 1, how helpful was this training course? Question 2, was there anything that could have been done differently in the presentation? And then explain. What was your favorite part of the training course and why? And then what was your least favorite part of the training course and why? And what wouldn't you add to the training course? And please explain that. And then I'm going to give time for the employees to do their survey and to write down their answers. And then we're going to leave the end of this training course open for discussion and any questions that the employees would like to be answered. And thank you for listening and watching.